Welcome to Tech Guy TV. Your host, Tech Guy, bringing you some technical analysis today, going over the markets, going over, some news, going over a few things. I figured I would add a little tidbit, going over the stimulus check from one of the YouTubers that I follow, and goes over it extremely well. It's an 8-minute clip. Figured would start out the day with that. Let's see what's up, and then transition over to, going over the market, diving deep, and seeing how everything is related today. Today's content, we're probably going to go over a little bit of news pertaining to cryptocurrency, a little bit of news going with the stock market, if I can find any. If not, it's going to be a short stream. Today's probably going to be around 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. As you can tell, I have a migraine today, so I'm going to wear sunglasses inside in a dark room. But I'm going to have some fun with it, and we're going to go from there. I'm going to turn my light on so that this cuts away nice and clean. Look at that. 10 out of 10. All right. So, cutting in to a little bit of some content today. We're going to cut into these guys are called Clearview Tax. Guys based out of America, goes over American, how would you call it? American news when it comes to the stimulus checks and how the politics are going through. So let me pop him up on the screen. There he is. And he's actually a very straightforward, good guy. I would suggest, to be honest, okay, when I first started following this guy, he was at like a quarter million subscribers. He's almost at 1 million. He's at 870, as you can see on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. So I would definitely check him out. If I watch him, definitely cuts through the bullshit. Also, the guy in the bottom right-hand corner, In the Money, started watching him on how to trade options. Didn't get to finish it, but I'm definitely going to look into it. So that's what I'm looking into now. So that being said, let's get into the content. Let's hear what this guy has to say, and let's go from there.
And this channel, and I hope you're having a very nice Labor Day weekend. I just want to say that I appreciate your support so much, so thank you very much. I am writing a letter to President Trump, to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. I want our voices and our frustrations to be heard. These are the mailing addresses of those politicians. I will leave the track.
Okay, I didn't watch this at first. I thought he was actually talking about something that he already sent, or something like that. So let me pop over to here. I thought he was actually going to talk about the news, but I guess not. You don't get everything. And I literally just woke up about 30 minutes ago, made some coffee, took a shower, got here. So bear with me here. I apologize for any mess ups. Once again, migraine, not the best day. But I'm going to bring you some content diving into here. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin for a quick sec. And then we're going to look at stocks, see how the stock market's going, how the big movers are happening, and stuff like that. I'm going to be using Robinhood for that. As always, you guys can actually find all of these streams. I've been downloading them and reposting them to my YouTube channel, Tech Guy Gaming. I'm going to keep the name Tech Guy Gaming, but I'm probably going to keep the content on there to be whatever. I normally change it up and change it to what I feel like. So here is Tech Guy Gaming YouTube. That link is good forever, so be sure to check it out. And yeah, that's basically it for that. So, oh wow, things are actually premiering right now. So yesterday's Technical Analysis is premiering right now on Twitch, or not on Twitch, on YouTube. And be sure to check it out. Link below or link in the chat. So, streaming all of this every day at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. is gaming. So, gaming is like end of the day. That's when we have some fun, hang out. 4 o'clock is when we do work or go over, whatever we're doing. For those new to the channel, welcome, welcome. For those who are returning, thank you for stopping on by. Thank you for spending your time with me. And as always, you're awesome. So, diving into here, as we can see, a $4 million Bitcoin ransom demanded from the Argentina's official immigration. Let's look into this. According to a September 6 report published by Bleeping Computer, Argentina's National Migration Department has to suspend border crossings for 4 hours after being crippled by a ransomware attack that occurred on August 27th. The Comprehensive Migration Capture System, SCCAM, that operates in international crossings was particularly affected, which caused delays in entry and exit to the nation's territory. A $4 million Bitcoin ransom. So, that's what it looked like. And that's pretty crazy. Now people are like, hey, pay me 355 Bitcoin. You can have your shit back. Ransomware is nothing new, but it is something that is definitely a problem in the world. But as you guys can see, in July, Telecom Argentina, the largest telecommunications company in the country, also became a victim of ransomware, with hackers requesting $7.5 million worth of privacy-focused cryptocurrency, Monero. Now, for those who don't know, Monero is the privacy coin. You cannot see who you're sending it to. You cannot see how much that address has. You cannot see where your money went. You cannot. It's fully encrypted. You cannot find it. It's the perfect currency for doing dark deals. So keep that in mind. If you'd like to know more about that coin, I will dive deeper into it. Let me know in the chat, or if you're watching this on YouTube, let me know in the comments below. As always, likes, follow, subscribe, whatever you're on, go for it. So diving back into here, there's talk about how Bitcoin can retest it. Poll says 73.4% of Argentinians believe cryptocurrency will be best protect for their savings, which is true. Yeah, I mean, it's basically, people are thinking either Bitcoin's going to crash or is it going to maintain support, and we're going to talk about that. So here's a 5-day chart of Bitcoin right now on Bittrex. I like Bittrex for one reason. A few reasons. For a few reasons. I also don't like it for a few reasons, but I also do like it for a few reasons. One, the market manipulation within this market or in this exchange is extremely transparent. The overall volume of Bitcoin for this, it's a small exchange. At best, when I was watching it, it only did on a bad day, it would do around $8 million worth of volume. On a good day, it could do $20 to $40 million worth of volume. But that's with new whales that are coming in and new people who are manipulating that micro market now, or macro market. I don't know. One of the two, right? Once again, I got a migraine, so my words are wrong. Just bear with me. So, it makes it very transparent of the energy of the market, of who is doing what, because, those movements are exacerbated when you see them, and when it comes to the market manipulation on a larger scale of, people on BitMEX, people on Bitstamp, and, Binance, the largest exchanges in the world, that have margin trading and all of that. that kind of translates to over here, because over there you have a lot of volume, you have a lot of movement, and you have a lot of noise. Where here, the noise is mostly removed, as you can tell, and the major movements are shown. So, you know, it's one of those things where if you have people that trade on all the exchanges and manipulate the markets, their moves are clearly shown here, because you have your average volume, as you can see, it's just small. You know, there's not that much happening here. Yeah, there's like a daily volume amount and there's that daily movement, but overall, when someone does some stupid shit, it shows clear as day, and it is so helpful. So, going back into this, right? Bitcoin, we have our 3 steps down. All right, 1, 2, 3. It's normally how you know, a correction will go, and then you have your bottom line. There's some fluctuation on the bottom line, and that's basically, you know, shaking out the weak hands, people freaking out, or, you know, it's basically that. People are like, oh my god, Bitcoin's gonna drop, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And the bears are trying to pull it down, they're trying to push it down, and that's what these major moves are, of people either capitulating or bears trying to pull down the price so that they can get it at a, you know, a better price. You know, why buy it at 10,000 when you can buy it at 9,700, you know, or 9,800 in this case, right? It's an extra $200. And if you bought, say, 1 Bitcoin at 9,800 and now it's at 10.2, right? You're looking at $400 right there. And say you multiply that by 5 or 6 Bitcoin, well, you just made a few grand just from a standard market movement. So, you know, the people who have a lot of money are the ones who make the most money, because of the fact that they can, you know, leverage basically that amount of money that they have for those small movements. So if the movement isn't, like, if the market movement isn't large, then you increase the amount of money that you stake to then do that, to then, you know, make up for that. And you basically go both ways, and it allows you to grow your account at a lower volatility of the market, while at the same time allowing you to move basically more money, because then you have that money that you made, and you can take that, you can get in for free, so said, right? So you basically get in after you've already made all your money back, and that money that you've made is now straight profit. So I basically call that getting in for free, because now you're not at a risk that is something that is affecting your purse, right? Your overall bank. It's something that I've already made this money, and if I'm going to flip it, I already know that this is the money I've already made. I've already made my money back, so my bottom line has now moved up. And that's the biggest goal, is keep your bottom line where you can, don't lose from it, and then work your way up. So that's you know, trading advice. Once again, not a financial advisor of any sort. This is, I do it for fun, and this is me transferring my knowledge over to you. Take it as you will. Anybody trying to sue me for losses, those are your own fault. They're your own fault. So anyway, back to this. So we can tell right now, right? We had another 3 movement, 1, 2, 3, right? And this basically said, hey, we hit that. Remember how we talked about yesterday, that support line? There's your support line right here. So if we pop out to, say, the 3-month, right? You can see there's your support line, and right now we're bouncing around that junction point, and we're on the high side of the support line, and right now we're coming to that key day. So that's a big thing for us. We're coming to this key day, and what happens here? Probably Bitcoin will try to retest, or there's always the possibility that it goes back down. But we have our safety margin line here, right? This is our safety net line, and normally it doesn't hit that, and if it does hit that, it normally retests it to then shake out the weak hands and liquidate people's assets, and then it bounces back up, so that all those people that just got liquidated and lost their positions, the people who, you know, are moving that market to cause them to lose those positions just bought up all of their Bitcoin, all of that money, and then now have all their money, took all their positions, and now have a stronger hand, and now are moving the price up because they can do that. So it's a messed up thing, but that's capitalism. You know, that's what you get when you have a market that has no rules. You know, the FCC can't do anything. You know, the SEC, the FCC, whoever, right? They can't do anything about this. And if they do, well, it's a world economy. It's not, oh, hey, this is based out of the U.S. You can't do that. No. You know, any sanction that you have really can't stay if a person's outside the U.S. and they're doing this. Which most of these big guys are either in Malta or in a country that allows for them to do this and get away with it. So, you know, keep that in mind. When you fuck with this market and you get into this, it's one of those things where you need to keep in mind that you're not playing the market. You're playing the players that are already in the market. And if you keep that in mind, then you will be successful. Because you're no longer sitting there saying, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna fight this market. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna try and predict what happens." No, that's stupid. It's stupid. Don't predict what the market is going to do. The market has already been taking into account months in advance. People already know what this is going to do because it's someone else's plan that is able to manipulate the market because they have an overall stake in the market, right? So if you play to those people, right? If these people already know, hey, this is predicted to go up, and by my calculations on my watch here, yeah, it's I'm expecting this to go up because I forced it to go up. Well, okay, well if it's forced to go up and you expect this, then they have the money to make this happen, and why not jump on board and follow what they're doing? And if you know them, they're gonna fucking dump the market because it's a logical thing to do. If you think like them and be a devious person, well, then you're gonna be like, oh, well, what would I do if I had all this money? Well, I would sit there and I would dump on these fools so that they would lose all their hands. Then I would wipe them out by taking all their stuff after he gets liquidated. It's clear as day at that point. Once you start thinking like that, you start understanding that maybe, just maybe, this is one of those things that you're like, oh shit, this makes sense. So, that being said, we're going to dive into gold. And as we can tell here, gold didn't move that much. It's pretty solid, you know. And right here, the dollar sits on the precipice. And to be honest, that makes sense. That does make sense. I mean, the dollar is always a dollar, but when you value it to everything else, the dollar really is not worth the dollar. The dollar is worth a tenth of what the dollar is, but because everything trades to the dollar, you then have the question of, okay, well, what is it actually worth? What does it actually mean? And so right here, you can see that we're in a little bit of a bear phase of the market is correcting its movement here, and we're getting some settling. And, you know, Ready Set Crypto, I'm gonna drop them, you know, their name, because I've learned a lot from them, and they actually give some really good information. Ready Set Crypto, Doc, it's a father and son. So Doc is the father. I forget the Maverick, Mav is the son. Doc is the father. And so Doc was like, you know, one of his big saying was, you know, range expansion leads to range contraction. And as you can see here, range expansion, range contraction, and then it settles out. I mean, you can't get more straightforward than that. You know? I mean, and here's the biggest thing, right? If, say, the dollar, right? If the dollar said, let me try to find like a really crappy, let's see. Oh. Okay. So, as you can see here, right, I mean, this isn't really that aggressive. Okay, here, this is perfect. So, right here, right? Here's the dollar. This is faux dollar, right? This is not actually a dollar, just bear with me. I'm using this as for intensive purposes, right? So, this chart right here, right? Say this is a dollar worth at an actual dollar when we're at the gold standard, right? And as time goes by, the dollar loses, you know, a bunch of value, right? And right now we're like right here, right? And the dollar's losing value, and it has no value. Now it has a choice. It has a choice. It can either tank or it can do fantastic, right? When you hit bottom, you can either bounce off and come up, or you can just keep crashing and then it has no more value. And you know, something that would be good for value would be something like this, where the beginning price, it comes up, okay, cool, range expansion, range contraction, okay, range expansion, range contraction, and then of course you have the market crash of 2020 when coronavirus hit. So black swan event, basically. I mean, I don't think it was classified as that, but I mean that's kind of what happened. So, you know. But going to, say, the euro to USD, you can see here, right? Here's the euro from 1994, right? They're adding value, and then you have that contraction, and then you're adding value again. Okay, cool. But go to GPD or GPP, BP, whatever, the pound. You know, overall, you can see that this is a declining value. You know, you start up here, you come up here like, oh, it's worth $2, and now it's not worth anything. You know, it's worth part of that. And in honesty, that doesn't give me much, you know, backing. Now, a whole bunch of buying here and people saying, oh, well, let's back this and let's buy a whole bunch. This looks more like people trying to bail out their currency, to be honest. It doesn't look like honest volume. And that's because it's all on a red event and it's just declining. And even with all this money pumping in, it's still declining. So, you know, if you come back to the past here, what does this look like? I mean, you really don't look like anything that happened in the past. This doesn't look like, oh, hey, maybe it could be this. Or, hey, maybe it could be this. It's, in all honesty, I mean, it could be this. It could be this area here. But as you can see, it was just, you know, it went up a little bit, and then it went down. And then it went up a little bit, stayed there for a bit, and then it collapsed. Which, normally when things don't go up, they go down. That's just normally what happens. So, you know, let's look at Ethereum right now. Let's go to the 5-day. So Ethereum once again hit the bottom. We can see 5 major pulls down, or 3 major pulls down. One, I would say this would be, I would consider as 2. Like this one big thing. This is people fighting for it. But mostly this is 2, and then this would be 3. You know, it's basically a major sell-off of people trying to dump the market. And Ethereum has a lot more coins and a lot more projects and liquidity that works with it that you would find that. So, but as you can tell, once again, it hit the bottom, it bounced off, it came back, and now it's stabilizing. You know, we can go to XRP. Actually, let's talk about TRX. TRX had a major movement. Right, so TRX over here. Oh, look, it pulled back to the level I thought it would. So here, right, TRX started up over here in August, came up to here on the 3rd, right? And this is basically a FOMO right here. Anything over this line is basically FOMO if you're missing out. And then, you know, we leveled out. And pulling right back here, we can tell that this was the major movement. This was some bullshit, and then it leveled out here. So around 300, right? I was gonna buy around 350, which would be a smart price, but considering it pulled back to here, it's even better. right? So what I would do was I would come over to my crypto hopper and I would buy some, which I'm currently not doing. As you guys can see here, you know, the market itself, this is how much you could have gained or lost. For those who are actually tracking my portfolio, you can see that my Ethereum was at 50, now it's at $4. And that's how easy things can go up, things can go down. But I also got in at a pretty decent price. So, you know, I'm in the negative here, here, and here. But at the same time, I'm really not that worried about it because this is basically the last moment of cryptocurrency going up or down. And then, you know, we're going to hit a rocket ship. Let me go to my red list. We'll talk about some of these. So, REITs, right? Real estate. I like them because they're pretty stable, especially ones that deal with debt. Normally debt is the currency, and people, when they have the money to pay back debt, then it becomes a thing. But here's the problem: we're at a financial crisis right now. We're about to go into, like, we already kind of try to dodge the Great Recession, right? Even though we were worse than the Great Depression, right? So, I mean, you could do that, or you could just go back to, you know, shit going to garbage. And so, MFA, right? MFA, they got hit pretty hard during the March kind of dip, as you can tell here, right? I mean, 31 cents, maybe lower. I think, does it actually say here? I mean, their earnings are pretty level, which is good to see. And as always, Q1 estimate, they just did terribly, and that's what that reflects. But they paid out dividends, and I mean, you can check out dividend.com, I think it is, to find the best stocks with dividends in them, or the best dividend stocks, I should say. So, real estate investment trusts is REITs, right? I always forget the definition of those, but basically, you can tell here, it's pretty level, right? Calls and earnings, it does its thing. You know, it comes out a little lower, but everyone expects that. And you can find this on, I normally use Robinhood for this. But yeah, it's a pretty level stock. It doesn't have much movement, which is good and bad. I mean, for a long-term investment, I would say it's a pretty stable kind of thing. I bought when it was at like $1, so I doubled my money on it. Another one that I invested money into was, let's see, do I have it on here? Besides RWT, we've already seen RWT. I do not. Actually, yes, I do. RC. So, Ready Capital. These guys were pretty good. They're going up right now. And I mean, their energy is pretty solid. It's some good market movement. I would say the real estate area, depending on what they invest their money into and you dive deeper into them, you could do either really good or really bad. It's up to you. Once again, it all comes down to your own research, your own information, your own, thinking behind it. I can tell you everything and you can still fuck up, and that's your fault, not mine. Once again, not a financial advisor. I'm just talking about stocks. This is me sharing my information with you. Nothing wrong with that, right? So, I mean, that's really what we're looking at right now. The market as a whole, I mean, some are going up, some are going down. It's one of those things where you're going to either do great or do horrible. Now let's pull over to Robinhood and let's check out the top movers. So this is the top movers in the market right now. Hopefully this doesn't crash my stream. If it does, I will be right back. If it doesn't, cool. There we go. So, top movers today. I think Night Eye is causing the problem. Let me try refreshing it. Because this is already in dark mode, so I don't know why I would use dark mode on dark mode. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. And by the way, yes, these are all my lists I have. I have a lot of lists. Things that I'm deciding, things that I'm questioning, things that I'm like, huh, this makes sense, or this doesn't make sense, or why did this do this, or I like this because of this reason, and I would invest my money into this. And these are all things that, you know, there's lists of each one, why they're in there, and so on and so forth. So let's go. Can we reverse that? There we go. Oh, wow. I had these guys before, but they were doing terrible. They were at like $1. So I could have quadrupled my money, but whatever. I liquidated. I'm really not worried. Workhorse, same thing. I had a few of these stocks. I would have done better, but I really don't care right now. I don't trust the stock market right now. I mean, it's extremely volatile, and it's one of those things where I'm like, I like it, but I don't. You know, it's definitely like, if I had the capital to fuck with it, I would. You know, if I had another 600, I would definitely diversify. You know, if I had that, but I don't. So I chose a side, and that's where I'm sticking. I wanted to blank out my camera so I can blow my nose. So, yeah, that's basically what's happening here. I mean, you can see what's happening, why it moved, how it moved. We can dig deeper in the future, or we cannot. I don't know. I might go down these lists in the future. I'm still evolving my content, and, you know, if we get more viewers in here, then the more feedback I can get, the better, you know? So that's how it goes. I'll definitely keep an eye out for more content, more updates, more news. Once again, I'm still evolving this. I don't know how I want to do this still. I mean, I do, but I don't know exactly how I want the finished product to be, and that's the kind of person I am. I'm always evolving, and I'm always changing it. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to pop back over to Bitcoin, though. So, yeah. I mean, that's what we're sitting at right now. I would say, if you didn't get into Bitcoin yet, you can see here, I would say, take a nibble. That's what I would do. I would take a nibble right now. Maybe like $100, $200 if you have that spare. Like, it all, I mean, size it to your portfolio. You know, if you have $1,000, you know, I would put, you know, 100 or 200 in. If you have more than that, then, like, yeah, I would do that. But once again, not a financial advisor. I'm going to keep saying that because I don't want people saying, oh, well, I took your advice and I lost money. Listen, I'm telling you what I would do, not what you should do. All right? I mean, yes, it would be smart for you to do that, but it's not my choice. It's yours. You're your own advocate, and you're your own person taking the risk. If you can't take those risks and you can't deal with the responsibility that comes with it, that's your own fault, and you yourself should be a responsible adult. It's that simple. Okay, you either take full responsibility of your actions, or you act like a child and have a temper tantrum. Either one. But I'm the person that doesn't deal with bullshit. I'm the person that doesn't deal with people having a shit fit. I don't care. It's not my problem. It's your own. You're causing your own problems. So, that being said, check it out. I would say you got till about Tuesday, maybe Monday, to see what's happening. But I would definitely, you know, do your research, see what's up, you know, figure out your own portfolio, and go from there. As always, thank you for stopping by, and I thank you for all your support. and for, you know, just for hanging out with me today. So, I'll see you tomorrow. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. All right. And here is the music that's been playing. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you probably around 8.